Have you ever wondered why that off-brand cereal just doesn't taste the same as the regular brand? Or why you can't make that Starbucks Frappuccino at home even though you have all the ingredients that you should to make it? It just doesn't taste the same. Well, artificial and natural flavorings have quite an interesting little secret to them. So, artificial and natural flavorings is something we've all heard. If you've ever been to a grocery store or heard a commercial, it's going to be on there. Artificial and natural flavorings aren't really that different chemically. Molecularly, they are coming from the same things. Now, artificial flavorings are coming from many different compounds as well as the natural flavorings, and I will read a list of everything that they can come from. They can come from spice, fruit juice, vegetables, edible yeast, herbs, bark, bud, root, leaf, meat, seafood, eggs, dairy, anything fermented. This is from the Food and Drug Administration spokesperson Debbie Coates. And artificial flavors come from petroleum and other inedible substances. So, an inedible substance is essentially something that we can eat, we can physically get into our body. Once it's there, it isn't going to do anything. It's not going to give us any nutritional value to it. It's basically just going to be floating around our system, going through our bloodstreams, going into our blood, going through our GI tract, and can potentially cause inflammation and therefore allergic reactions to these substances. So my history with artificial and natural flavorings is that I will use tea, for example. Any of the Starbucks brands of tea and anything I started ordering from Starbucks, this was quite a few years ago, I started realizing that I was having a reaction to, like, pretty much instantly on contact. I would put the tea in my mouth, on my lips, to my tongue, and it would start to almost like peel and start to like break open, and it was across the board, every single one. I was also at this time starting to have really bad chemical sensitivities, and I have since learned that the reasoning behind all this was most likely the petroleum, the correlation between fragrances. Anything that's in most air fresheners is going to have a petroleum base. Any candles that you have in your house are likely going to be petroleum based. If they're holding that strong, potent smell or flavor in your food, it is the petroleum that is keeping it there and keeping it very, very potent. And so you can open that up and immediately get this aroma and this dopamine and serotonin boost in your brain that's like, oh my God, it lights up and goes, this is amazing. This smells so good. Your mouth just starts watering, whether that's from the candle or the air freshener or the cereal. Your brain is responding in that way that it's like lights up. It gets this huge rush of endorphins into your receptors. These are what make these very addictive. This is why having an Oreo versus an off-brand Oreo is not going to, it's not going to cut it for you having that off-brand, because that brand of Oreo is, they have scientists that have really, really looked into exactly what it is about that flavoring, the exact combination of sweet and salty, that exact combination of that like toasted smell and that sweet smell. It's all these different things that they have down to a science that is in there. And these scientists are actually called flavorists. They have a name for them. There are entire companies that run off of this, and all of our food in our grocery stores has this. Go to your grocery store and try to find something that does not have natural or artificial flavorings in it, that is just plain. That is the reason why you buy this pickle brand versus other pickle brand or whatever it is. They figured out that like X amount of people are going to really love this brand and they're going to love this exact combination of flavors. And so they're going to keep buying it, and it's highly addictive. This is why when you have a first bite of something, you might kind of go, I don't know. And then like a second later, you're like, oh, wait. Oh, actually, this is pretty good. Like, wow, this is like a flavor explosion. Well, what just happened is those flavorings are getting down. Like, imagine the surface of your tongue is all taste buds that are like a bunch of different like fingertips like this. So in a normal flavoring of something that's an original plant flavor, something that is coming naturally from the earth, that is grown, that is the flavoring of that actual edible substance that you're getting from the ground, those are going to sit on top of your taste buds. It's not going to go anywhere. It's just kind of going to sit on top of those taste buds, and you're going to get the flavor that's on the top of the taste buds. Well, when you have things like artificial flavorings, a lot of things like MSG is a good example. There are a lot of different kinds of synthetic flavoring compounds that are related to MSG, and they work in the same way. So what happens is they are actually, the molecules are smaller. They're smaller than a molecule that would be in a normal food, and they can actually fit down in between the taste buds. So they get down along the sides of your taste buds, and now all of a sudden you have all this surface area of your taste buds that are down, not just on the tops, the tips of the taste buds, but down into between them, and those are now all tasting all this flavor. So your brain is getting lit up with these endorphins at such a higher rate. You're tasting so much more than you would with like a normal food, something that's grown in the earth. And that's why you have this addiction to these foods, because you're actually having this chemical response like you would with a drug, with something that is having an addictive quality in another way. It's crazy. And these people, these flavorists, these companies are so down to the science of exactly how to get you addicted to these things and to keep buying their foods. So the only way that you can really avoid not having natural flavorings in things is to make your own food from scratch at home, which even if you're buying like butter, a lot of the times has natural flavorings in it, or just like so many different like things that you would need to cook a meal are going to have it in there. But you can find more ways to get less of your food intake to have these added and or these artificial and natural flavorings in them, so that you're not pounding your system with these substances that could be something that you're allergic to. So now with the list of foods that these can come from, which were the like seafood, eggs, dairy, those ones being the main ones, a lot of the times it'll say this food may contain those items on it, and it can be from the actual machine processing. Like let's say they're processing peanuts and oats and different grains on the same machinery. They don't necessarily clean those in between, so you could have, or even if they do, there still could be little things stuck in the machines that didn't get cleaned out, so they have to put on their label that it could contain gluten, for example, with oats, because they use the same machinery to process the oats as they would with wheat. But there could be the other case of this that could be actually from the flavoring itself being derived from seafood or dairy or whatever it is. And because it does have that little bit in it, if you're really sensitive to it, you might be having an allergic reaction to it. And there could be the possibility that they don't even put that on the label, that they put these flavorings into the food and it isn't even like recorded on the label that you have it. So you might eat a food and go like, oh my gosh, I'm having this weird reaction. Like my throat is kind of itchy. I feel like I can't, like I need to clear my throat, or my eyes are suddenly watering, or my nose is watering, or I got like a rash that just broke open in my mouth. And you might like wonder, like, why am I breaking open from this food? There's nothing in here. Well, it could be the flavorings that are causing it. Let me know down below in the comments if you have had any experience with natural and artificial flavorings causing a reaction, or just your thoughts on them. I would love to hear it. I have really cut out like pretty much anything with them for a few years, just making everything from scratch. And now I notice that something is not an actual like flavoring. Like if I make something, I got some creamers, some holiday creamers that were non-dairy based ones, and I'm like, if I had these and I just put these spices in it at home, it doesn't taste anything like this, but somehow this pumpkin spice has this other flavor and almost doesn't even taste good to me anymore. So I don't know. Let me know what you think about this. If you have any other added things that you know about it, please share them in the comments, and give this video a like if you like this information and content. It helps with the algorithms and also gets the video out to more people. So I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.